Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Lucky Spencer, Jonathan Jackson, may tell Elizabeth Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, the truth about the car accident that she had with Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst. Lucky could confess to Liz that he knows that Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Mancy, was responsible for cutting the brakes on Rick's car, believing that the car belonged to Ava Jerome, Maura West. If he does that, Elizabeth would be furious, of course, but she may forgive Lucky as he did come clean to her. Lucky would then tell Liz that Rick and Ava are blackmailing Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Grahn, with this information, and Alexis is paying them to keep quiet. Liz would be stunned and very angry. She would be angrier with Rick than Lucky for not only lying to her about the accident, but she also would not be happy to hear that he is up to his old tricks again. Liz would then tell Lucky that she may have a way to stop Rick and Ava. Liz would tell Lucky that the best person to come between Rick and Ava is her. She suggests that they pretend to break up so she can drive a wedge between Ava and Rick, so they will turn against each other. That way, the blackmail will stop and Alexis will be free. Lucky would say that this is risky, but it might just work. He knows that this would help Alexis out and might be the only solution. Lucky and Elizabeth would clue in Alexis in on their plan, and she would agree to help any way she can. She will try anything to get Rick and Ava off her back. Now that she and Lucky have orchestrated a fake breakup, Elizabeth would cozy up to Rick and make Ava very jealous. Rick has already lied to Ava about being with Liz when he said that he was in Beecher's Corners. Ava would start to put the pieces together that Rick and Liz are spending a lot of time together, and that he may be cheating on her with Liz. Ava will not stand for that and confront Rick. Rick, of course, would deny this and tell Ava that he and Liz are just good friends. Ava wouldn't buy that, and they would continue to agree. Lucky and Liz would recruit Dr. Lucas Jones, Van Hansis, to help them track down the car that Ava is keeping hidden. Lucas has gotten close to his Aunt Ava lately, and may be the person who can figure out where it is. Rick and Ava would be too distracted by their quarrels to notice that Lucas has been trying to find the car, which is proof that the brakes were cut. Lucas would find the car and make sure it is destroyed, freeing Alexis from their blackmail. Once Lucas destroys the car, Lucky and Liz would visit Ava and Rick, who would be having another argument. Liz would tell them that it's over. They know that they were blackmailing Alexis and that the car is destroyed. Alexis would then show up as well and tell them it's over. Ava would point out that she still has that video of Christina with wire cutters, but Alexis informs her that they won't hold up in court. Their blackmail plot is over, and Alexis would say that they are not getting another cent out of her. Rick would be livid that Liz used him that way, but Liz would tell him that he deserved it for his lies and deceit. Poor Charles is about to feel the aftershocks of a scheme that could rip open old wounds and destroy new beginnings. With Rick Lansing's sudden romantic entanglement with Ava Jerome, red flags are flying all over town, and not everyone is buying into his apparent reformed persona. Enter three unlikely allies: Lucky Spencer, Elizabeth Weber, and Alexis Davis. Their common goal? To expose Rick's real motives, stop him before he wrecks more lives, and save Ava before it's too late. Rick's shady new romance sends shockwaves. When Rick Lansing returned to Port Charles, again, he came with a disarming smile, vague claims of personal growth, and a new target: Ava Jerome. Ava, still vulnerable from her complicated history with Nicholas, Sonny, and the never-ending Jerome drama, seemed like she was keeping Rick at arm's length at first. But something changed. Rick played the sympathy card to perfection. Claiming regret over his dark past, swearing off shady law tactics, and even managing to convince Ava he was misunderstood. Ava surprised everyone when she was spotted having dinner with Rick at the Metro Court, her laughter echoing off the walls like a warning bell. Carly was the first to raise an eyebrow, But it wasn't until Elizabeth overheard Rick bragging on a suspicious phone call that the alarm bells really started ringing. Lucky returns just in time. Elizabeth needed backup, and fate delivered it in the form of Lucky Spencer, who returned to town under the radar. At first, he was here for Aiden and to spend some long overdue time with Liz. But it didn't take long before he saw how tense she was. "You look like you're carrying the world on your shoulders," Lucky said, giving her that familiar half-smile. "I might be," Liz admitted, voice tight. "It's Rick, he's back, and he's after Ava Jerome." Lucky's expression darkened. What's he playing at this time? That question was the spark that lit the match. Alexis joins the fight. Meanwhile, Alexis Davis, who knows Rick better than anyone, was equally skeptical. When Elizabeth reached out, Alexis didn't hesitate. She still remembered the lies, the manipulation, and how Rick used people, especially women, for his own ends. She'd been one of them. Ava may not be Alexis's favorite person, but no one deserves to be another pawn in Rick's never-ending game of ambition and control. The trio met in secret at Kelly's after hours. The air was thick with old grudges, fresh concerns, and one unifying truth. Rick Lansing cannot be trusted. "I think he's using Ava to gain influence over her gallery and Jerome Holdings," Alexis said, sipping her coffee. "There's something deeper here. Rick doesn't do romance unless it comes with a payoff." Lucky leaned forward. "So we outplay him. Get to Ava before he does." Elizabeth nodded. "We sabotage this before she falls any deeper." Operation Expose Rick was officially born. A web of deceit. Elizabeth planted the first seed. She invited Rick to a nostalgic dinner, reminiscing about their past and asking pointed questions about his intentions in Port Charles. Rick took the bait, unaware Liz was secretly recording the conversation. "You know me," Rick said smoothly. "I always land on my feet. Ava's interesting, she's got power. Charm. I like that in a woman." Click. That was all Liz needed. Next came Lucky, who used his detective skills and Spencer charm to infiltrate Rick's financials. A few favors from Jordan and some tech wizardry from Spinelli, who couldn't resist helping out, revealed something deeply suspicious. Rick had recently acquired shell company shares that tied back to a competitor of Ava's gallery. If Ava trusted him enough to sign anything, she could lose her business. Meanwhile, Alexis used her legal prowess to dig through court records. What she found was chilling. Rick had filed preemptive legal drafts for power of attorney, disguised as estate planning forms. Ava hadn't signed them, yet, but the fact Rick had them ready spoke volumes. The noose was tightening. Ava's moment of doubt. The team knew they couldn't just present evidence. Ava was too proud, too guarded, she had to feel the betrayal. So Lucky played the wild card. He ran into Ava, accidentally on the pier, and struck up a conversation. "You really think Rick Lansing's changed?" he asked, watching her reaction. Ava's expression faltered. "People change, Lucky, even you have. Why not Rick?" "Because I've seen how far he'll go," Lucky replied. "He doesn't love, he uses." Those words stuck with Ava. That night, she confronted Rick with what she thought were harmless questions. But his defensiveness caught her off guard. And when she later discovered the unsigned power of attorney papers hidden in his briefcase, the illusion shattered. Ava wasn't angry, she was livid. Rick cornered. In true Port Charles fashion, the takedown was dramatic and public. Ava invited Rick to an exclusive party at the gallery, one she claimed was to celebrate new beginnings. What Rick didn't know, Alexis, Elizabeth, and Lucky were all there, hiding in plain sight. As Rick toasted to trust, redemption, and future partnerships, Ava stepped forward. "That's funny," she said, her voice cutting through the crowd. "Because the only future you're heading toward is a lonely one." She pulled out the power of attorney draft. "I found this, right next to the papers for a buyout of my gallery, traced to a company you own. Did you really think I wouldn't find out?" Rick tried to backpedal, but the evidence was overwhelming. Elizabeth played the recording. Alexis presented the legal drafts. Lucky revealed the financial links. The crowd murmured. Carly smirked from across the room. Sunny raised an eyebrow. Even Nina looked impressed. Rick was finished. He left the gallery humiliated, his plans crumbling like the lies he built them on. Fallout and aftershocks. With Rick outed, the town had mixed reactions. Some were shocked. Others, like Carly, Sunny, and Sam, weren't surprised at all. Alexis found closure she didn't know she needed, and Elizabeth felt vindicated for trusting her instincts. But the real surprise came afterward, when Ava approached Lucky with a question. "You didn't have to help," she said. "So why did you?" Lucky shrugged. "Because I see people I care about hurt by Rick. And maybe I just don't like watching someone like you fall for someone like him." Ava tilted her head. "You think I fall that easily?" "No," Lucky said with a grin. "I think you're a lot tougher than people give you credit for." The two shared a long look, one that didn't go unnoticed by Elizabeth. What's next? With Rick disgraced, questions linger. Will he skip town again, or plot revenge from the shadows? Is Ava open to something real after so much betrayal? Could sparks fly between her and Lucky? And now that Lucky's back, what does that mean for Elizabeth and for Port Charles? One thing's for sure. Rick Lansing underestimated the power of history, loyalty, and teamwork. And in this town, karma always comes calling. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our GH News 24 YouTube channel for more update news.